what better place to be than be like here in Cleveland? I mean, especially being a Buckeye. So many fans from Columbus are Cleveland fans, and getting to meet so many different people throughout my time in Columbus that are Cleveland fans, and just great people in general, and enjoy my time at Ohio State as well, and just bringing that intensity and who I am as a player and as a person here to Cleveland, just who I am as a Buckeye, man, and that will live in me forever.
There are not many things about which I am certain in life. However, I am certain about this. There is more talent in the building once it all arrives, obviously, to the Cross Country Mortgage campus than there was a couple of weeks ago. The draft is over, and we welcome you to the best podcast available. We were building the Browns over the last how many ever days. Jason Gibbs, and you know what? I like the new pieces. The pieces are not yet fully in place. We will see them come rookie minicamp next weekend. But for now, I think it's time to push your way, figuratively speaking, from the desk and just go, you know what? I kind of like it. Yes, there will be more cameras in Berea. I get that, okay? I can live with cameras. Attention isn't always a bad thing, but what is a good thing, Gibbe, is that they added playmakers and they added guys that can wreck the game on the defensive side of the ball.
Andrew Siciliano, don't sell yourself short. You are a tremendous slouch.
And you know what? I am short as well. I would never sell myself as anything other than short.
I appreciate that. That's a hell of a comeback. That's a great comeback. That might be the best comeback someone's ever given when I've dropped that line. So they are better. How can they not be better? I mean, the amount of hardware that the guys we drafted have won in college, the accolades they've achieved, I think we had quite the weekend. It's been a while since we've had a weekend like that when it comes to the NFL draft. And Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski and company made it a memorable one from night one all the way through to the middle of the fifth round.
And we will get to the middle of the fifth round coming up in a second. This is Best Podcast Available. We thank you for joining. This is our post-draft edition. One edition already dropped a couple of days ago with Mason Graham and his wonderful family. I enjoyed that conversation, and I think Browns fans are going to love Mason Graham, even though he wore the maize and blue, and there are some nightmares still and some scars, believe me. He is ready to put on an orange helmet and to battle for you. Coming up in a little bit, speaking of college football and guys that I know that you love, Quinshon Judkins, the 36th overall pick. And yes, Gibbe, I asked him, will he do an OH the very first time he gets into the end zone? He will join this show as well. I want to back up and start. And this is not just going to be like glowing, heaping praise, greatest draft ever. I mean, there's some things that you and I maybe don't agree with. And at the same time, there are certainly questions to be asked about this draft. But let's back up to the very beginning. And when we do this, I want to say, Gibbe, I will not give a draft grade. I said this with Nathan and with Ken Carmen on, was it Monday night? I've lost track of days. Monday night this week. I hate draft grades. Grades are clickbait. They're topic bars for TV shows where people scream. They're for Twitter content. You get my point. Every team deserves an I for incomplete, because it may turn out to be the greatest draft of all time, may turn out to be the worst draft of all time. Call me in a year, 2 years, really 3 years to be safe. But for now, let's give it an I. Are you cool with that?
I'm fine with that. I do click on all of them, though. I did enjoy reading a lot of the draft grades. I'm entertained by them, but I agree with you. There's no way to know. It's the same thing with college football and a 5-star recruit versus a recruit that doesn't have 0 stars. We have 2 of those, by the way, that we drafted that turned out to be pretty good football players.
Here's a fun fact. The first overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft was a 0-star recruit. The first pick in the second round, now a Cleveland Brown, of the 2025 NFL draft was a 0-star recruit. So there comes a point in which grades and labels don't matter. What does matter is what you do on the field, and we'll find out what this group does on the field starting next week. And let's get to the trade first. Gibby, you and I were talking earlier in the day on Thursday, draft day, day one. And I said, hey, I know there's talk of a trade. I would be okay with it under two conditions. Number one, you don't go down that far. Like I said, 6 was the floor, meaning where the Raiders were. And number two, my second condition would be I want a 1 and a 2. Guess what? Both happened. Both can also be true. I really wanted Travis Hunter. I did. Like, he would have been so much fun. Fans would have loved him. Like, me, Nathan, you, everybody up in the booth. Like, oh, my God, that would have been fun. But it was a great deal. Both are true. In my old age, I've just come to accept that I could step back and say, you know what? There's a lot of value in both of these answers. And I like the trade. I really, really do. And I think if we told Browns fans the morning of the draft, hey, you're not going to get Travis Hunter, but you're going to trade back, you're going to get a 1 and a 2, and you're going to draft Ashton Genty, I think they would have had a parade. What the Browns did is they traded back, they got a 1 and a 2, and they got Mason Graham, who is a damn good football player and absolutely one of the top 5 players in this draft and a defensive force that will make everyone across the board on that D-line and that front seven, including Myles Garrett, more effective because he does the dirty work. And under this system, he's going to get upfield with Jim Schwartz coaching and calling the shots. It's not the sexiest pick. I get it. But go back and watch the pod we did with him. Browns fans, you will love him. This is a very, very good deal that will continue to pay dividends next year in 2026 for that draft as well.
I'm not one to accumulate picks. I like making picks. Like, I'm not here to go, hey, let's keep gathering picks and let's keep accumulating picks. However, when it's an extra first rounder,
yep,
that's a change, especially when you haven't had one for 3 years. That's a game changer. Now you have 3 1s in 2 years when you went 3 years without one. First round picks are impact football players. They're expected to start from day one. You've got them under contract for up to 5 years. Like, there's something to be said. Though, when you can accumulate first-round picks, well, that changes the tune for me a little bit. And it was an unbelievable deal. Andrew Berry had to pull the trigger on it. I know that all the so-called football experts were, well, you're leaving the best player, you're trading away the best player in the draft. However, the number of assets you got back in return offsets that. And props to Andrew Berry and Mason Graham, you said it. I mean, he's one of the top 5 players in this draft. That's how talented he is. And frankly, we need people that can stop the run. And we need to get a little rush up the middle.
Yeah.
And guess what Mason Graham
can do?
Both. Both of those.
He can do both. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, our buddy Dane Brugler, Ohio guy who put together the beast and is as good as it gets covering the draft for The Athletic, this morning, as we record this Tuesday morning, already has his 2026 mock draft and projects that Jaguars pick to be a top 10 pick. So there.
Exactly. I mean, you're hoping from our pick standpoint, we're not in the top 10. Hopefully we're picking in the 20s.
Oh, he projects the Browns pick to be top 10 too, but I don't want a top 10. I don't want to spoil it. That's not the point.
Detail. Brugler, okay. Time to go on vacation. Come on, buddy.
Now, there are a lot of – let's go back to night number one. There's a lot of online smoke, Twitter smoke, suggesting the Browns are going to trade again from 5 down to 10 and that maybe the Bears would have thrown in a 1 to go from 10 to 5 or whatever. And you could have accumulated picks. 2 things. Number one, if it was a 1, I would have done that. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Go from 5 to 10 and say, maybe take Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, and get another 1. Yes, sign me up. I don't want to spoil it for you, fans, friends, listeners, subscribers, and be sure to click subscribe. Countrymen, Romans. Gibbe's going to Rome soon. That offer wasn't there. Don't believe everything you read on the Twitters. It was not there. Didn't happen. So that is all just imaginary. Get that out of your head. It wasn't there. The Browns stuck and picked at 5, and they got a very good football player. Let's go to the second round. As I said, the top pick in the second round was a 0-star recruit. His name is Carson Schwesinger. Let's say it again.
Good job.
Because he and I were joking, and that pod will drop a little bit later as well, because we did a sit-down with him. He said he has heard every possible name, including a coach who tried to say it in German, which I'm not going to try to mangle, like Schwesinger, something like that. It's Schwesinger. Imagine if you do it phonetically, a Jerr at the end. Schwesinger. And he's a former walk-on. And yeah, Charles Davis and Nathan Zagura have legitimate questions. Charles on the broadcast on Friday, hey, why did it take so long to get on the field? Joel Klatt said some of it's political, but when he did get on the field, that is on the defense, on the starting D his senior year, he led the nation in tackles. He led the nation in solo tackles. He got in the backfield a lot, and he was a sideline-to-sideline linebacker that I could tell you, speaking to teams other than the Browns, that a lot of linebacker coaches wanted. And the Browns got him, and they got him at 33. And people ask, well, why'd you take him at 33? Why didn't you take the back at 33? Why'd you wait to take Judkins at 36? I'll tell you, they thought somebody else was going to take Schwesinger. He wasn't going to be there at 36. Off-ball linebacker is generally not viewed as a premium position. Well, the Eagles traded up to get one in Jahad Campbell at the bottom of the first round. And you know how the draft think the insiders work, and I don't mean the three guys at NFL Network. If the Eagles had traded up in the bottom of the first, as they did, and took Carson Schwesinger rather than Jahad Campbell, believe me, the praise machine for everything the Eagles do, well-deserved, they just won the Super Bowl, would have been ratcheted up to 1,000. The Browns got him, and I think Browns fans are going to love him as well.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great kid. He's not a kid. He's a great guy.
Young man.
He holds himself well. I mean, he's unbelievably intelligent. Something with bioengineering, I believe.
Would you like the here it is. Hold on.
Coach, we had Coach on the show last night on Monday night recapping the draft class. He said, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his major, but he and Jason Tarver would have been classmates, or Tarver would have been
Browns linebacker coach Jason Tarver, who did his graduate work at UCLA, getting into coaching. He Carson is a bioengineering major, and he was a walk-on. Bet on himself. I love guys that do that. Could have gone to like Bucknell. His high school in Southern California, I wouldn't call it a football factory, but it's got a lot of NFL talent.
Yeah,
Zach Charbonnet, notably, of recent vintage, among others here with the Seahawks. He decided to bet on himself. I like guys who bet on themselves. And he went to UCLA as a walk-on. His brother Ethan played college football at Cal Lutheran, which is where the Rams, up until a couple of months ago, had their training facility. So he's been around the NFL, and now he's in Berea.
Yeah, and I just he's a guy that makes plays, and I know I hope that we can see him and JOK on the field together.
Yeah,
I think he's also a guy that probably Jim Schwartz looks at as a green sticker guy,
a green dot guy, meaning
a green dot guy.
He could be the guy getting the call from the sideline. And
he can
giving
process
the defensive
things
call in the huddle.
and run the huddle. I mean, I love Jordan Hicks, but Jordan Hicks has battled some injuries, and before him, Anthony Walker battled injuries. So, and right now, JOK is battling injuries. You need some consistency at that position, and hopefully with Schwesinger, that's a guy that maybe Schwartz sees as a future leader of that defense, and the green dot guy.
And the green dot, it's going to be a little bit different this year in the NFL. Guys like Carson Schwesinger can adapt easier because last year was the first year that you had the green dot in college football. So the transition, and this goes for the quarterbacks as well, something to watch for any rookie. For the two quarterbacks, obviously the Browns took two quarterbacks, is that this year's class will have already done the headset communication thing last year in college football. So it's kind of a new era there. I mentioned Quinshon Judkins. He's the hammer at 36. I know some people thought, well, what about Travion Henderson? He's great in pass pro. He's the home run hitter. They drafted their home run hitter later. They drafted the between the tackles guy. I don't need to remind Browns fans about how difficult it was to score inside the 5 sometimes last year.
Maddening.
Maddening. You got that guy now. You got a guy as well that can close. Go watch the Penn State game. Buckeye fans remember how Judkins in a 4-minute offense stole the soul of the Nittany Lions. You need that guy. You still have Jerome Ford, who is, look up his explosives last year, pretty damn explosive with 60, 50, 60-yard runs or plays from scrimmage. The Browns reworked their backfield, and they got a guy that scored 50 touchdowns during his 3 years, 2 at Ole Miss and 1 in Columbus. And we're going to skip over Harold Fannin for a second, and Gibby, let's go to Dylan Sampson there as well. Right, Dylan Sampson scored 22 touchdowns last year at Tennessee, a 1-year starter in the SEC, and he's got some wiggle, right? I don't know that he's truly the quote-unquote breakaway speed home run hitter, but turn on the tape, there aren't many guys tackling him. I should ask Judkins, and I'm sure somebody will, or Dylan for that matter, what do we call them? Like, in terms of the backfield, you know, Thunder and Lightning, Smash and Dash, Sonic and Knuckles. What do we call this backfield?
I don't know what you call it. I call it impressive, and I call it a significant upgrade for a team that had a lot of trouble running the football a year ago. That's no disrespect to Jerome Ford, because I think there were a lot of things happening with the offensive line, with the scheme, with how the offense was running.
It was a lot.
Yeah, but you needed some things to happen in the offensive line room. We still hope that Nick Chubb's going to come back. I don't know if that's happening, if that's possible. You know, you hope maybe that he could come back and be the mentor for these guys. But you have significantly, I know the English language. It's all right. It's Tuesday morning. You have upgraded that position, and you needed to upgrade. And you've got a change of pace. You've got the hammer. And I think that that's a great combination. They've done really well. Dylan Sampson, I thought, was going to go second round, even third round, early third at worst. And here you are with the Browns taking him in round 4. That's a steal.
Yeah, he's a good football player. And again, not the biggest, but he's not small. He played at over 200 pounds a year ago. He does have some juice, and he does have some wiggle, and he does have some ability out of the backfield. He caught 20 passes last year. Neither of these guys were the number one guys out of the backfield for their team necessarily, but just look at the combined touchdowns. They get in the end zone. They scored a combined 86 touchdowns the last 3 years. The Browns, I don't need to remind anybody because you watched it with us. We all were together in this, scored the fewest points in the NFL. You needed guys, and I'm not going to hammer Nathan for yelling weapons, weapons, weapons. Great job, Justin.
Although
Fielder.
It was fun.
It was great. And he's right. He is right. But you also need other pieces on this team. That was just my view. Like, don't limit it to one side of the ball. You need guys that can score the football. Right? I know that's a basketball phrase I'm stealing. They got that. And the other is Harold Fannin. Gibbe, I'll let you take the floor as a Bowling Green Falcon. You were wearing your Bowling Green pin on Saturday. Have you come down off your draft weekend high?
I am disappointed. Everything happened with the big trade on Saturday, and we never got him in studio.
Oh,
so
that's right.
I didn't get a chance to hang out with him a little bit. I mean,
I did a sit down with him. He was great.
Yeah, when he was here on a visit, I had some lunch with him, and he's a great young man, and he's a guy that's come up through the ranks, Canton McKinley, to Bowling Green, and I mean, you could say what you want to about Maction. People are going to go, well, it's Mac. It's still Division I, kids. Maction is still pretty darn big, and there were a lot of kids from the Mid-American Conference that got drafted this weekend throughout all divisions.
And actually, Darius Alexander from Toledo went right before him, or 2 picks before him.
Exactly. So, but when you look at his tape in the game that they played against Texas A&M and the game that they should have won at Penn State,
right?
Like, the best player on the field at one point was Harold Fannin Jr. Go to their bowl game and their bowl loss. Like, you knew, because guys had already started entering the portal and guys had left Bowling Green. Like, he was the only weapon for Bowling Green. You knew he was the one getting the ball.
You know, he caught 17 passes in the bowl game.
Yeah, there was no one else. He makes a lot of plays. His body type is unique. He's 20 years old. He can't get into a bar. I'm happy to take you out on your 21st, by the way.
Which is right before training camp, so be careful with that.
Perfect.
Let me just read what Harold Fannin did in 2024. So just a list of accomplishments. First team All-American, MAC Player of the Year, MAC Offensive Player of the Year. First time a tight end has won Conference Player of the Year. By the way, I don't mean in the MAC. I mean period. Let me say that again. First tight end in FBS history to win a Conference Player of the Year award. Okay? Finalist for the John Mackey Award, which is an award, silly season, to the best tight end in college football, the rubber chicken season afterwards, the banquet season. John Mackey, by the way, great Orange man, went to Syracuse. Led FBS with 117 receptions and 1,555 receiving yards. Both are single-season FBS, meaning Division I tight end records. Led Bowling Green with 10 touchdowns. Had 8 games of 100 yards receiving. Tied for the most in the country with Travis Hunter. 13 games, 12 starts. And in that Ventures Bowl MVP, he had 17 for 213 and a touchdown. And if you go back and watch the NFL Network coverage, I recorded it. I watched it when I got home. Their very first full screen, in which they're showing bullet points of Harold Fannin's career, played his best against the best opponents, like you said, A&M and Penn State. Now, he did say to me off there, he did not grow up a Browns fan, even though he grew up right down the road.
It's all right.
Went to Camp McKinley and wore Browns colors, kind of, sort of, at Bowling Green. That generation, and I'm going to age myself, he's only 20. You know this, Gibbe. A lot of younger people grew up in an era where they root for players less than they root for teams, right? Because there's fantasy football, there's Sunday Ticket, NFLshop.com. You could buy anything on your phone. It shows up on your doorstep the next day. You could root for any team. So Gibbe, between you and me, he liked Le'Veon Bell. He's not a Steeler fan, but he was a running back. Heck, Bowling Green handed him the ball a lot. He kind of liked Le'Veon Bell. Not a Steeler fan, but I'm just telling you.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's okay.
Now he's here. Now he's in our building. And now it's up to the pukers to try to stop us. That's it. Good luck stopping that. By the way, Njoku on one side, him on the other?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Good.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Will Howard and Jack Sawyer as Steelers. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. All right, let's get to the quarterbacks here because we've done everything else. The Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks. Live with it. It isn't the end of the world. They'll figure it out. Yes, there are going to be more cameras. Okay? Deal with it. I do not view cameras as a distraction. I don't. When you're out on the field, you're on the field. The cameras, the media, they're there. It's part of the job. If you don't think there are going to be a lot of cameras with or without whomever they drafted at quarterback, when the Browns go to Philadelphia this summer to practice with the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, there are cameras there. Guys, all the games are on TV this just in, okay? Let there be cameras. I am okay with it. Oh, they're going to get asked about it. Yes, they're going to get asked about it. Can sometimes that get annoying? Yeah, it can be. I've had players tell me that over the years. Absolutely. I don't mean a certain quarterback, but any big picture story that the screaming heads on TV talk about, yeah, it can get a little bit annoying. It doesn't matter once the game starts. It doesn't. And Gibby, you're there every day. You know that the football side of the building will not make it or let it be a distraction. Am I right?
Correct. I mean, we were told it will not be a distraction at 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Correct.
Like, we all got pulled aside and said, "Hey, this is the game plan. Like, they're rookie quarterbacks. They're competing. We got a couple veterans that are pretty good too."
We do. I don't know how it's going to shape out. If I had $1 for every text or request for a radio interview that any of us has gotten the last 3 days, we'd have many dollars, and they all ask the same thing. Who's going to be the starting quarterback? Guys, I don't know. Gibby doesn't know. We don't know. Let's just get through rookie minicamp and figure it out. I don't think Joe Flacco needs to practice much His body of work has been proven. He's a man. He's 40. To quote Mike Gundy, I think he'd be okay if you save his arm a little bit. Kenny Pickett's going to battle. Dylan Gabriel's going to battle. Shedeur Sanders, who touched down in Cleveland and is not in Berea but in town, he is going to battle as well. And then may the best quarterback win.
Yes. That's it. Good news. Training camp's going to be a lot more fun.
But not a distraction.
No, it's not a distraction, but now I get to watch 4 quarterbacks. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. You don't know. I don't know. Fila doesn't know. Maybe Fila knows. He's dialed in. But it's one of those that I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see it all unfold. And you're going to do it in 2 joint practices. You're not going to play a lot of the guys. They're all going to play in the games. They're all going to have to play in the games.
They're all going to have to play in the games. The preseason got that much more interesting.
Yes.
To your point.
Let's go.
You're going to get them in the games, and there's a joint practice with the Panthers as well. For those who haven't been or seen a joint practice, you can't have 90 guys on one field, 180 guys on one field. So you have multiple fields. So there's a chance for more reps for all these quarterbacks to work them in. And for those who say, what team ever drafts 2 quarterbacks? Friends, it's happened now 3 of the last 4 years. Yeah. The Patriots did it last year. Drake May, Joe Milton. They flipped Joe Milton. They got some value out of it. Now, Joe Milton also is one of the reasons they're not picking number 1 overall, week 18. Thank you, Joe, but they drafted 2 quarterbacks a year ago. The year that Kenny Pickett got drafted by the Steelers, 2022, Chris Oladokun was drafted there as well. They drafted 2 quarterbacks. Need I remind you of 2012 in Washington, RG3 and Kirk Cousins? Or how about last year? They didn't draft 2, but Washington took Jaden Daniels and then signed as an undrafted free agent Sam Hartman, who wasn't just any undrafted free agent. He was the bleeping quarterback from Notre Dame, also glorious hair and a fantastic beard, and does Just for Men commercials in his free time, or he should if he doesn't, right? So they had to name quarterbacks. It happens. It is. How about 89? How about Troy Aikman, 1 overall, and then they came back a couple of months later, and what do? They drafted Steve Walsh. Just Steve Walsh. Kids, look it up. He was a big deal in the supplemental draft. Troy's still angry about that one. I'm kidding, not really, but it worked out okay. But this is not unprecedented.
No, we said it for a couple of months. Take 2 bites at the apple. Let's figure out who's going to be the guy. All right, it just so happens the guy you took in the 5th round was a guy that many thought was going to go in the top 12, if not the top 10. Okay.
Many people were
whatever.
saying.
Many people.
But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. And Dylan Gabriel, our coaches can't say enough good things about him.
They
think they have something.
Night. Yeah, you were there. Listen, I could do an hour on Dylan Gabriel. We could do an hour on Shedeur Sanders as well. I'll just say this. As someone who is not tall, I have crazy respect for Dylan Gabriel, who is, don't worry, much taller than me. Okay? He's not 6 foot, but no one has started more games nor thrown more touchdowns in the history of Division I football than Dylan Gabriel.
And he progressed up the ladder.
He's not tall.
He played at a couple schools, and every school was bigger, and the spotlight was bigger. And he excelled at every single one of those stops.
He plays on time. He's accurate. His arm is stronger than you think. You could roll him out of the pocket, and he could throw some lasers downfield. It's not Cam Ward strong. No, it isn't. But just go turn on the tape. And when you speak to him, you're going to walk away going, wow, okay. That's one of the most mature recent college graduates I have ever met.
Yeah.
And I mean that. And that is what shone through to the Browns and other teams. And I'll tell you right now, I spoke to one team after the draft that said one of our senior offensive coaches, that was his favorite quarterback in the entire draft. Okay. What does that mean come rookie minicamp or July? I don't know, but it'll be fun. It'll also be fun with a remade backfield. including a guy who made a short drive up the road to Berea from Columbus. Quinshon Judkins, congratulations, man. Welcome to Cleveland.
I know. Thank you so much. It's like more than I dreamed of to be here in this situation. It's a great place. Finally home.
You had to wait Thursday, and then Friday you hear your name early. When you look at your phone and you saw, I'm guessing, a 216, a 440 up on your phone at first, what did you think?
You know what's so crazy? I didn't see my phone. So I got up, and I was like, I think the Seattle Seahawks had just picked, and I got up to go get me a cup of lemonade and get something to drink. So I'm talking to one of my college coaches, Coach Blackwell, and we were just talking about the kid that just went to Seattle. Next thing I know, everybody's screaming. I'm like who fainted? Who fell out? Like, what's going on? So I look in the room, and my mom showed me the phone. She's like, she's shaking. So I grabbed the phone, and there it was. It was everybody and the whole entire staff in the room from the Cleveland Browns, and I was so excited and so full of energy and just was I was super happy, man.
The internet thought, and you
thought I was in the bathroom.
They thought you were in the bathroom.
Bro, I was not in no bathroom. If I was in the bathroom, how could I make it back that fast? I didn't have my phone. But I thought it was funny, though. My family found it hilarious. We were all just laughing. Like, it's like, he's in the bathroom. It's crazy.
Mom did a really good job,
She did. Shout out to Mom.
Hey, stay there.
Shout out to Mom. She was so clutch. Like, she answered the phone. And I seen, like, it was on the post where they showed the clip of her, like, she answered the phone. She was like, it was so hilarious, man. It was crazy.
And then Andrew Barry, AB, said, hey, because there was so much noise in the background, he had trouble hearing you. That sounds like a pretty lit party.
Yeah, everybody was, like I said, man, everybody was just super happy. All of my intermediate family, people that have got me to that point, my coaches, people just from my community, really. So many people that got me there. So they were all there.
What does it mean? You only had 1 year in Columbus, but what does it mean? It was a pretty good year in Columbus, by the way.
Great year.
To stay in Ohio and to stay with really kind of the same fan base that has already wrapped its arms around you.
I mean, what better place to be than be like here in Cleveland? I mean, especially being a Buckeye. So many fans from Columbus are Cleveland fans, and, you know, getting to meet so many different people throughout my time in Columbus that are Cleveland fans and just great people in general, and enjoy my time at Ohio State as well, and just bringing that intensity and who I am as a player and as a person here to Cleveland, just who I am as a Buckeye, man. And that will live in me forever because of the things that I experienced in my time there and what it meant to me, you know, the culture, the brotherhood, all of those things, and bringing those tools from that program here to Cleveland, not that far down the road, maybe 2 hours away, but still feeling like I'm at home.
I mean, you got a lot of Buckeyes here in the building as well. Saw Denzel Ward already, right, when you're walking through the field house. What was that like?
That was crazy, man. You get to see Buckeyes like, okay, like I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It feels the same. So getting to see those guys be in the building, see him working, you know, it motivates you as a player, especially a young guy coming in, seeing guys like him who've had a lot of success. Definitely motivated.
A lot of time between now and September. I know you have a lot of work to do. You're a humble guy, but we thought about an OH the first time we get in the end zone at Huntington Bank Field.
I don't know what celebration I'm going to do. It's going to be a lot of different emotions. So I look forward to feeling, I don't know how I'll feel in that moment, but it'll be some ecstatic for sure.
All right, let's talk about the systems you've played in. Lane Kiffin, RPO system. Chip Kelly, they asked you to put a lot more on your plate. Pro-style system here. Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees, kind of going back. The feeling is to what we hear, the Browns here ran in 2023, a lot of wide zone. How have those two systems, two really good coaching staffs at Ole Miss and Ohio State, gotten you ready for what you're going to face this year?
Just who I am as a player has helped as well, just because my versatility, man. And playing in Coach Kiffin's offense is very fast-paced, super fast tempo, really just using the back in a lot of different ways, but everything goes so fast where you can't be super, like, you can't make it too hard because it has to be fast tempo. But then going to Coach Kelly's offense, where it's more so pro style, and he's just super. The versatility of the back is insane. It was a lot of time I'll be in the slot, one-on-one with the backers. You can line me up anywhere on the field. We could change our footwork up on our wide zone, our inside zones. We can do under. It just was so many things you could do in that offense that Coach Kelly had as far as versatility that I really loved. And I feel like that's what I bring to this offense as well, the pro style. And that's why I fit into this scheme so good, because of the versatility that I am and what I bring as a player. And I think that's why I have a lot of success at it.
A lot of people thought one of the reasons you did leave Ole Miss and go to Columbus, you had a big workload down there, right?
Definitely.
You were able to share that workload with Travion, most notably last year. Dylan Sampson, the Browns took here as well on Saturday from Tennessee. Obviously, I have Pierre Strong and Jerome Ford already here. I'm not saying backfield by committee, but there's a lot of talent in that backfield. You're used to splitting carries. However, last year, how did that work for you last year?
Went great, especially as a competitor, man. You definitely want to be surrounded by great guys in the room. Just go out there and compete every day and be surrounded by great talent. And playing with a guy like Trey, motivating each other, being there for each other. Two guys that are selfless, the same mindset, just team first, who want to win.
And you get to see him this year as well, playing the Patriots.
We're playing the Patriots.
Maybe a little friendly wager here.
Oh, no.
Within legal NFL-friendly wager guidelines, of course.
Right, of course. I don't know, man. We'll see how that goes.
How cool is it, last question, to see him go right after you? A lot of people thought, by the way, binary, you had to pick one or the other.
Right.
A lot of running backs here. Just two of the best happened to be on one roster, and he went right after you.
Man, I'm so happy to see him get drafted. He deserves it. He's a guy older. He's older than me, but he's a guy that works hard. When I got there, he had great leadership in the locker room. Coming back again for his senior year just speaks about who he is, who he is as a person, and what he stands for. That's what I really feel like.
I'll say it again. Welcome to Cleveland. Browns fans are happy to have you. Can't wait to see you out on the field, Q.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Browns fans are going to love Quinshon Judkins. I know plenty already do from his work at Ohio State. All right, let's talk about the shirts here, because whenever they took the Browns War Room cam, you saw the shirts that everybody was wearing. Gibbe is wearing one now. So the Browns made a concerted effort during draft weekend, all 3 days, to have as many people as possible on camera and in the building wearing their community initiatives. And they had shirts printed up. Gibbe, you're wearing the Stay in the Game one, okay? This is Browns Give Back. I have mine as well. I'd be wearing them, but as I mentioned earlier, while talking about Dylan Gabriel, I'm not a big person. The shirt's a little bit big on me. And then this is the Sanction Girls flag as well. Note the shape of the Sanction Girls flag. And that was very important to the Browns, understandably, because you get a lot of FaceTime during the draft. They want to give back. They want to be in the community as much as possible. Obviously, they are, but they wanted to spread the good word, Gibbe, with all eyes on Berea.
Yeah, it was great. Everybody in the building wearing them this weekend. Coach, general manager, front office, everybody in the building, our whole content and production team, everybody got them. They're nice shirts, but the message on the shirts are the most important thing. So the three major points of emphasis for our community relations, our Browns Foundation, Renee Harvey, Jenner Takancic, two ladies that do an awful lot of good in this community on behalf of this franchise and this organization.
Absolutely. So with all eyes on the Browns, obviously picking second overall and then fifth overall and then the top of the second round, it was important, and we wanted to reinforce that message here on the best podcast available. It's been fun. You know what's also going to be fun? Rookie minicamp. We will see you, and we'll have another episode of Best Podcast available after Rookie minicamp. Actually, one leading up to it as well. We will see you next week. So long, Gibbe.